Hi everyone. Tonight with the Gauntlet, I am emceeing Game of Monsterhearts 2, a game about messy lives of teenage monsters by Avery Alder. Everyone has a copy in the Gauntlet, maybe. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. And this is a continuing Game of Monsterhearts 2 coming out of a game of Alice is Missing that we ran a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, let's get intros from our players and their characters. Character keeper order, I guess, left to right, just to be traditional.
Hi, I'm Mark. I use pronouns he, him. I'm playing Evan Holwell. Uses pronouns he, him. Evan in Alice is Missing was the one with the crush. And in Monsterhearts, Evan has become the Infernal, whose mind has been co-opted by a demon or something. Possibly it's Bria. Maybe Bria is a demon from Alice is Missing. The Infernal has a demonic patron and gets them things that they want at an unspecified price. And I've been kind of getting rid of all the hold that the demon has on Evan. And now I think it's time to start spending some of that currency and go from there. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name's Jose and my pronouns are he, him. And I'm playing Dakota Travis, I believe his last name, yeah, whose pronouns are also he, him. He is from Alice is Missing. He's Alice's best friend, or was Alice's best friend. And now in the Monsterhearts game, he's the Mortal. That's the playbook he's playing, which is just a regular guy who feels strongly about things, and particularly his love for Jack. He feels very strongly for. And yeah, so there's nothing special about him. It's that all the monsters seem to go crazy when they're around him. Last time we saw him, he was emerging from a forest, bloodied, I guess with blood and maybe ichor of some sort, or ectoplasm of some sort, all over his face after making out with Jack in the woods, and having his arm mauled by the wolf he thought was Jack, but was actually Julia. That's where we left it with him.
Status update, it's complicated, right? Okay, thanks, Jose.
Yeah, and I am playing Jack. I had a usual time at the party. Tried flirting with someone, found out they just wanted to know how I got my hair this way. Ran off into the woods. Ran into something that might be my sister's ghost, mauled it. Mind melded with Julia, and then mauled Dakota, and then made out with him. I mean, haven't we all been to parties like that? Oh yeah, and I think I'm probably going to be trying to use the exorcism to like sneakily play like get Megan and Zoe to talk to each other.
Cool. And speaking of exorcisms or seances, I guess.
Or yeah, seance.
I'm Max. Pronouns they, them. I'm playing Julia North. She, her pronouns. Julia is a witch and lives in the woods. And Julia in Alice is Missing was Alice's secret girlfriend. And most recently, Julia has used the hex of joining Jack in Jack's body while Jack was expressing as a werewolf, and together we mauled Alice. I ate the ghost of Alice. I think I'm feeling a little bit freaked out by that in my grief. And Evan says she was delicious. Yeah. And after that, Evan kind of kicked me back into my body and we had sex, which also I am feeling a little confused by. It felt like the only thing to do in the moment. And here we are. Now,
Well, if that doesn't describe how most of people feel about their options when they decide on Evan.
yeah, well, we did it. And now Bria has a string on me, I guess, or Evan has a string on me. I'm not entirely sure who has a string on me, but what a day this is going to be.
Absolutely. So yeah, mechanically speaking, right? Bria, the dark power of the Infernal, gets a string on you if you have sex with the Infernal. So yeah, I guess we get to see a little bit of what that will look like from now on for Julia. Okay, so I'm thinking manic party on Friday night as normal as it would have been. Let's fast forward to Monday morning at school. And I think this week there's there's some kind of signs up around school. There'll be some kind of event to commemorate the kind of month anniversary of Alice's death. I wonder who is on the committee to organize that, or is that a staff-led thing? Evan, what do you think? Whose name or whose signature do you see all over this?
I'm sorry, did you just ask Evan?
Yes, yeah. So,
oh my God, I'm so
first,
sorry.
First question
I heard
session.
Evan and I thought, okay, that's
not
somebody else's
me.
question. Yeah, I don't think Evan would be involved. I think that I think that it's orchestrated by the school, but I mean possibly some of these other characters, but also there is there's like a group of students who wanted to do this for whatever reason. Let's see if we can see if any of these side characters make sense to do it. Maybe Homer was involved, and Maria. Yeah, I think Maria was involved because she's like, she has to be kind of the center of things, and she makes a big deal out of the fact that that she kind of brought this up to the school staff, and brought Homer in on it as well.
Yeah, and that is exactly that. Maria moved here right at the end of the year, so this is her first month in school. She never knew Alice, so that is gotta ruffle some feathers. Dakota, how ruffled are your feathers? And speaking of that, is your arm in a cast or a sling at least? What do you look like after this mauling?
I imagine that there was some kind of hurt comfort montage where Dakota had to get cleaned up and taken to the emergency room and get some stitches in his arms. Because I think that's what we decided, it was his arm.
Yeah.
So I'd say his arm's bandaged, and maybe he's got some scrapes and cuts on his face, and he's coming into school with that. He is peeved that Maria has suddenly taken over the memorial service for Alice, just in her way of taking over everything. Just arrived and is already like, yeah. putting herself in charge of everything. So he is not happy about that. But he's recovered. He's been a little traumatized by that event, especially the whole Alice thing. And so I don't know if there are any any discussions between him and Jack about what happened, because I know Jack's pretty traumatized about it too. So maybe when he comes into class that morning, he's looking to check in with Jack to see how he's doing after the mauling of the Alice lookalike ghost.
Yeah. Just thinking. Yeah, I wonder if you're, when you're getting books for first period, like, do you see someone has like put up some kind of memorial or something at Alice's locker? Someone's like pinned a message or a photo or some kind of memento up
Oh
there.
yeah, like one of those little things with the candles, little.
Oh, okay. They've gone full OTT. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's way over the top, and in these garish colors, and it's like that he knows that Alice would want something much less overstated, but since Maria's in charge, she's really gone hog wild. And there's like novena candles and things that don't make a lot of sense. So he kind of looks at that and thinks to myself, "Oh fucking shit! I can't believe this girl. What the fuck is she's doing?"
Is there
there's
any,
nothing much he can do
yeah,
at the moment.
So who do you meet at the locker? Like whose gaze you kind of lock with, and like what are their thoughts about this whole OTT display?
Yeah, I think maybe I lock eyes with Julia, who's just coming in, and Julia's opening her locker, which I assume has lots of things in it, since it's kind of she has to, she lives in the woods as far as we can tell, so she has a lot of shit in her locker. But I catch eyes with Julia and just make a face like pointing at the altar.
Cool. Yeah. Julia, how about you? Where do you got to be this morning? What is on your list of things to do?
Well, I really want to check on Dakota. Dakota, I'm not entirely sure if you know it was me mauling you. Like, I can't remember. What did we decide? You don't know.
I think we decided that like there was like that kind of like conversation in my mind between the two of us, where I was like handing over the reins to you for a moment. So I don't know if I'd like no, but like I definitely have some awareness of it.
Unless you told Dakota. Dakota would.
Oh, sorry, Dakota, right. Sorry, not Dakota. Dakota doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I really want to be checking on Dakota, but of course doing it discreetly. So that's also on my mind. But I'm really feeling, as I get to school and, I look over to Dakota wanting to check on him. And what I'm seeing is all this stuff about Alice and this memorial and Maria's over the top presentation of this thing. And what the hell is she doing involved in it anyway? And I'm a world of grief right now, grief and confusion and fear, actually. Just, like what kind of took over me on Friday night, and the things that I did are now in retrospect surprising me a lot. And I feel scared by that. So I am, like, Dakota, what happened? How are you doing? That's what I want to know.
I ran into the woods after Jack. I didn't see you afterwards. There was this crazy mad dog out there, and he attacked me and got my arm. But Jack took me to the hospital. I got 6 stitches. It's really kind of gross looking. But But yeah,
Wait,
that's
wait,
what
wait.
happened.
Jack took you to the hospital?
Yeah, I found Jack. This is a story that Dakota told the police, so he's trying to keep it straight in his mind. And he has no idea that Julia was involved in any of this. Yeah, Jack took me to the hospital. We went back to my car. I don't tell him that, I had some gym clothes there that Jack put on because he was naked, but I just tell him that Jack took me to the hospital.
Huh. Okay, man, you're okay?
I'm a little shaken up. It was kind of scary, but my arm hurts. But they gave me some painkillers, which are kind of cool. So I'm a little woozy right now.
You're probably going to need those painkillers through this whole Alice Michigas too.
I know, maybe I should double my fucking dosage when I walk down this hall because I need it to ignore that shit that Maria's put up. I can't believe it. This girl, she comes out of nowhere and then she's suddenly like taken over as if she knew Alice. And I don't know, I just want to vomit when I look at that fucking altar. It just has nothing to do with our friend.
I guess my question is, what should we do? Here's this memorial organized by this person who didn't even know Alice. Meanwhile, those of us who love Alice are in so much pain and loss. And I wonder if we should talk to Jack and like figure out something that we can do ourselves.
Maybe
I
that
feel
would be
Alice.
good.
I feel Alice around, and maybe we need to actually like do our own way of communing with Alice.
What I really want to do is kick that fucking altar over right now, but that would be disrespectful to Alice, I guess. So tell me not to do that, Julia. Tell me to just walk away.
Okay, just walk away for now. Just walk away for now. We can figure out together what we want to do.
Okay. I can't believe I have to sit through fucking math class. Why did they put it at first period? I mean, that's like fucking sadistic. I can't believe we have to talk about algebra when what I really am feeling is just all this craziness around this memorial and Alice's death and the fucking dog attack. I hope Jack's okay. Have you seen him today?
No, I haven't.
Hopefully he'll be in math class.
Before we cut to Jack, I want to ask Julia, is there some way specifically that you're like feeling the presence of Alice in the corridors? Some kind of hint or kind of memory of her last year?
I think I am feeling Alice's presence in my body, not necessarily in the corridors. I'm aware that I was mauling the ghost of Alice, or someone who was presenting as the ghost of Alice, and yes, I ate her. And so yeah, I'm sort of feeling her in my body and feeling like I want to actually like invoke her together with the group. And I'm wondering if that's what part of what the seance is about, is inviting Alice.
Awesome. Do we see any like hint of that kind of come through in Julia's behavior, or is that like locked inside?
I mean, maybe there's like something that Alice would have said that now is a phrase that Julia utters, which is like out of character. I'm not sure what Alice would have said. Can't we all just get along? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if Alice is now sort of theoretically inside, or Julia's feeling like Alice is inside, yeah, maybe there is something, some verbal thing. Anyone have ideas?
Maybe Dakota notices a gesture, like an Alice-like gesture that it was never yours before, like like a way of pulling your hair back or something when you're getting frustrated, like doing this. That's a very Alice gesture, and he just notices it and thinks, "Gosh, I never saw Julia do that."
Well, and maybe Julia puts her hand on your shoulder in a way that Alice would, but Julia and you have never been that familiar.
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Jack, how do we see Jack enter into the school?
Oh man. Okay, so I think like Jack has like shifted over now at this point to like full emo mode because I currently have the traumatized condition. I think I show up in like black, and I think I've tried to put on eyeliner, but it's like really bad job of it. Um and I've like changed around my hairstyle because apparently that's all some people notice about me. Um and I think I see the memorial and I kick it over.
So, I mean, that seems like a shutdown, right? I mean, let me know if it's a stretch, but I think this is like a public shutdown of Maria's social cachet, even if she's not here.
Sure, we can treat it as that. Right, let me bring up the die ruler. Let's see here. This lands super well. Let's see. 2d6 -1. That's a 9.
Nice. So, I guess on a 7 to 9, choose one from the list. But you come across poorly, and they give you a condition in return. Let me think
I mean, I
one.
guess I'll give her the condition trauma parasite.
Okay. Trauma tourist, maybe, I don't know.
Sure, trauma tourist works as well.
Okay.
Trauma porn junkie.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, what sounds like a good condition to give Jack in return? Any thoughts? Something like selfish or childish or something like that?
Or violent or volatile, one of those.
Yeah, poor impulse control. Yeah, that works if it works for me. If that works for you, Stephen, poor impulse control. Yeah, and the candles and the medallions and like the flowers that are arrayed in this little table just like skitter down the corridor, and I think they probably like not quite neatly as it sounds, but come to a stop right before Mr. Halvert, who is walking down the corridor to his first class, and he looks up, and Jack, I'm sure that you must have been overcome with grief and slipped.
Oh man. I think I say I was overcome, sir, by the fake ass bullshit that all you people that claim, and I'm just raising my voice at this point, all you people who claim to know Alice and are now just, I don't know, trying to live, trying to like dress yourself up in some grief you don't deserve.
Jack, now when the principal decided that some display was warranted because Alice was very popular in her age group, there were only a few students who volunteered. And I think if you really think you should be involved because you knew Alice better than anyone, obviously, I think you should go to Mr. Steiner's office and discuss the matter with him. After second period. I expect you to work very closely with Homer and Maria. And you know, I'm sure Maria will take your feelings on board.
I'm sure she will, sir. And I like go off to my first period because I am going straight to Julia's desk. Unless we want to see what is going on with Evan, because I'm going to Julia.
Okay, let's go to Evan first, and then we'll cut back to the co-wolf committee. Evan, I think yeah, maybe you have a first thing Monday morning appointment with Mr. Steiner yourself. Sounds like something that is even worse than double calculus to start on Monday morning. You know, a session
calculus.
A session with the school psychologist.
Yeah. So Evan is walking down the hallway, I think, that Jack has just vacated. And he comes up upon the memorial, and he crouches, and the picture of Alice, the framed picture of Alice that was in there, is laying on the floor. So he pulls that out. The glass is broken, kind of shakes the glass out of it and dusts it off a little bit, and then puts it upright. And then most of these candles have gone out, so he grabs a candle and he's going to light it, and then he's like patting himself for the Zippo, but it's gone. And then he remembers he doesn't have a Zippo anymore, so he's gonna have to pick up some Bics at some point. But then he'll go in to see Mr. Steiner.
Can I add a tiny touch to that?
Please.
So I think you're like holding the candle, and Bria's voice comes in and says, "Oh, let's remember Alice together, Evan." And like the tip of your index finger like spurts into flame, and you just light the candle by yourself.
Yeah, that's perfect. Excellent. And then he walks away from this fire hazard and into Steiner's office.
So I guess we've seen Steiner before on the basketball court, not protecting you from getting your ass kicked by Jack. What's his office like, and kind of what about it kind of makes you slightly uncomfortable?
Oh God. So he was a former basketball star at the academy. What's it called?
Academy?
Yes.
This one?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is a full realization of his glory days, pictures of him on the court in action, his jersey from his championship game in a frame, all that kind of thing. And so what is it that makes him uncomfortable? I think that Evan's dad was also on that team, and they were both very good athletes, and Evan never didn't start down that path, so he's on the outs with his estranged father regarding that, and also with Mr. Steiner.
So yeah, you sit down and Mr. Steiner is like on his nice comfy armchair, and yeah, he's like looking at his notes from last week. Evan, thanks for joining me. What you get up to at the weekend?
You know, I was studied a lot over the weekend.
Okay. And how is this week's commemoration hitting you?
Oh, did you see somebody knock down like the little memorial that they set up?
No.
It's all over the floor, man.
Okay, I didn't notice that. That you think someone is harboring some kind of ill will towards Alex?
I don't know. Some asshole knocked it over.
How does that make you feel?
What does it make me feel? How does it make me feel? Like they made a big mess.
Yeah. How does someone destroying a symbol of or collective love for your friend make you feel?
So it was pretty stupid.
You feel stupid, or you feel that person is stupid?
It was stupid to do that.
Okay. And what did you do when you saw the destroyed shrine?
I just walked by it.
You just walked by it?
I was because you're gonna like be on me if I'm late, right? And I
Okay.
mean, if I don't come and do these with you, then you said that they were gonna kick me out of school, and I don't want to do a GED. I'm pretty
Okay.
close, you know.
So, I mean, does that make you feel angry towards this process that you have to like abandon your friend?
Yeah, it's stupid. You know, it's stupid that I'm here right now.
You prefer to be
Sure.
repairing the shrine to your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that seems normal to me.
Okay.
Like, if we have obligations that seem stupid to us, other things are more important.
Okay.
Does that like translate into any feelings about the night Alice died?
Does it translate into any feelings about it?
Yeah, like you've talked before about, how you were out looking for Alice when she died.
I think Evan is having a hard time kind of like processing everything that Mr. Steiner is like trying to drive at, because he's not that smart. Yes, he is. I agree with you, Stephen.
Well,
So
he is a terrible therapist because he's a
Yeah.
Monsterhearts therapist.
Does it translate? I mean, yeah, I don't think I want to talk about that. I think, so don't you think some things should be private? Don't you think that some things you don't have to tell people about?
You don't have to tell me about anything.
Okay.
So we should avoid that topic.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for the rest of the week? I've heard that there's a few specific commemorations coming up. Are you going to get involved, or are you going to not talk about anything for those as well?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess if some of them are cool, maybe I'll check them out.
Okay. I heard Charlie is coming back for one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, when's Charlie gonna be here?
I don't know. Maybe Wednesday. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
I see. Who told you that?
The principal. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Maybe I'll text her.
Okay. So I think at that, Bria's interest perks up. Hey, Evan. Hallwell, come on. Ditch this shrink and text Charlie, because you need to get that heart for me.
So I think that Evan starts his leg starts going up and down, kind of shaking, like he's really bored with, he really wants to get out of here and do this, but he knows he's stuck here for another 20 minutes. So he doesn't say anything about, but he's trying to keep it together. I feel like maybe he's trying to keep his cool under the circumstances.
Yeah. What are you afraid of?
I am afraid that Bria is. I'm afraid that Steiner is going to get an idea that there is something going on with that he's not like totally all there, and she's going to force him to give that up.
Okay.
So the fear is that he's going to like say something out loud to Bria or something along those lines.
Perfect. So it's full with cool.
Okay, so with cold.
Yeah, sorry.
Cold.
Cold.
That's okay.
Cool. Cool is not a stat in this game. Cold.
All right, so 2d6 minus 1. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, take some sweet XP.
Yeah, I will. Yes, XP.
Yeah, and I think, Bria starts like needling you, right? It's like, because it's your fault, Hallwell, that Charlie has the heart and not you. You put it in a safe place for hiding. You told her. What are you thinking? Come on. Don't act like such a sap.
And so I think Evan shouts, Jesus Christ. And then he looks over at Steiner. I'm sorry, me.
Yeah, and I think Steiner kind of flips back a couple of pages in his notebook for you. And he's like, underline this, like, I don't know, special friend speaking inside Evan's head, like it's his notes that we kind of see. And I think, you know, he's got lots of questions. So yeah, I think he'll grill you for the 20 minutes, and you might have to give him something to kind of get out of here, or at least tell some kind of a good covering lie. But he's definitely suspicious. Right? Okay. So let us cut to the Julia and Jack show. Is Dakota in this class as well? Is this a shared class? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe Dakota got there first because with Julia. And I think, yeah, he would have had to walk by Bay to get to his desk. So I'm imagining there's a little bit of a scene there. But if you want to do the Jack and Julia show first, that's cool.
Yeah, sure. So Jack arrives as stated. So yeah, go first.
Oh yeah, I like come over to your desk, Julia, and like pound my fist into it and say like, we are going to make certain that Maria's memorial is going to be there is going to be some real grief there. Do you think that we can summon whatever that fake Alice was to show her how she should really be making certain not to fuck with Alice's memory? And I'm spending a string to encourage you to help me in this. So if you want to accept that, that's an XP for you.
Yes, I accept your string. And I think that what we should do is you and Dakota should meet me in the woods later in my special cave after school. We can talk about what to do. Are you game?
Yeah, I think we should bring, and this is the other part in Jack's head thinking through here. We should bring Megan too, and Zoe, although I'll probably have to talk to Evan for that.
Why do you want to bring Megan and Zoe into this?
They knew Alice too. They're not like all these other fake assholes pretending to grieve her. Also,
Right.
Jack is trying to get them to make up in his head. That he doesn't say that though.
Okay. All right. All right. So after school, we're going to meet there. And by the way, Jack, your hair looks great today.
I think Jack blushes and says, "Oh, thanks." And I kind of like look down at my feet, and like all of the bluster I had going in is like taken out of me, and I'm just not really sure how to like end the conversation now.
All right. So see you later, Jack.
Oh, right. I'll see you later.
Okay. Bring the others with you.
Wait, did you want to roll to turn me on there? Like, because I just gave that to you without even.
You got some free embarrassment there.
Yeah.
Sure. I can roll to turn you on. So, okay, wait, what do I add to my roll now?
Hot.
And that's adding 1.
I think it's subtracting one, right? Your hot is -1.
Yeah, you decided to become cold last session, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I got a 3.
Oh no.
XP.
Yeah,
Oh.
man, does Dakota look up just at this moment where you're complimenting my hair?
I think it may be. I think this kind of like faux embarrassing walk away is really turning on for Julia, if that is all right, Max. So I'm gonna suggest that this is essentially Jack rolling a 10+ on turn something on against Julia. So, like, specifically, like, what do you think it is about what Jack is doing or saying that is turning you on?
Well, I like the, I know that Jack was, because I was inside Jack recently, I know that Jack was upset about Bay wanting to know about his hair. And so I was really just trying to tease Jack. And so, the idea that Jack would, have any kind of embarrassment, even if it's fake embarrassment, it is just, I get some glee out of it. And it's a little bit of a power turn on.
Cool. So Jack, take a string on Julia. And Julia, choose one of the reactions from the list. If you have
Okay,
a-
wait, where's this list
Oh.
of reactions?
Sorry, it's on the move sheet, but let me paste them in the chat.
Oh,
So these are the options on the turn someone on move.
and these are things that I do?
Yeah, these are things that these are the reactions you have to choose from for Julia.
Okay, I give myself to you.
What does that look like in this situation?
Yeah, oh, I have to decide what it looks like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Because, like, presumably we're not just having sex in the middle of the classroom, but like,
Yeah, okay, what does that look like? Okay, I'm not sure what that looks like.
I feel like maybe like you misread my signs and like try to lean in a little for like a kiss or like put your hand on mine or something like that.
Okay, so yeah, so Julia, okay, Jack, so I'll see you later, right? And Julia leans in closer and Jack pulls away.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's that like pull away moment. And I kind of made out with Dakota last night.
I mean,
After all that? Well, I fucked Evan, so we're even.
I think that's got to get someone's attention, right? The classroom is not empty. It's like
Yeah.
like someone it like turns when they hear I made out with Dakota, right? But then they hear the response
that, like,
clearly.
when you say that, like Jack just kind of like tries to find like something to say, and then just like turns around and goes and sits next to Dakota.
All right.
Who overheard that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone overheard that now.
Yeah, but hey, Julia, you're up to 2 XP now.
Great. Is that good?
It's a start. So just gotta, get other people to start pulling strings now as well. Yeah, I mean, I think, someone has got to react in a typically teenage ribald fashion. I think Ryan is our resident asshole, and like he starts hooping, and like he he looks for a high five, or he looks to give Dakota a high five or something like that. Man, Maria's parties are the best. I'm definitely going to the next one.
I think when he like offers Dakota the high five, Jack just kind of blushes and starts like kind of tracing his finger across the desk.
Looking for a crack into which you can disappear. Okay, cool. Dakota, until this drama boiled over or spilled over, what were you up to? Just earwigging or talking to someone else?
Well, when Dakota came in, so if we rewind a little bit before this particular explosion of gossip, when Dakota walked in, he he has to pass right by Bay's desk to get to his desk, and it's like he saw Bay and he remembered that he had left Bay at the party and never gotten back to him with all the drama, and he feels bad about that, and so he approaches and crouches next to Bay's desk, really like showing his bandaged arm, leading with the bandaged arm, and says, "I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you after the party. I got a dog attacked me in the woods. I had to go to a hospital. It just got so crazy. I'm so sorry."
And then you hear the words, "I made out with Dakota last night."
That happens later.
Let's give him a minute to like get his conversation in, so that like divulsion can have some real impact.
Okay.
And I might be trying to turn him on just to try to get a forgiveness.
Yeah, I think he kind of looks at your arm and kind of almost like doesn't obviously turn it over like trying to examine it, but kind of is obviously like a little bit skeptical, right? It's like, oh, a dog ate your homework, huh? But yeah, roll to turn Bay on.
Let's see, where's that thing? Okay. So it's a 9.
Okay. So
then the list, let's see. Let's turn someone on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
and I think he thinks he just wants that you want him to just accept your excuse, whatever it may be, and like not dig too deep in it. You're kind of being casual, like it was nothing, I'm really sorry. So yeah, he kind of like fixes the band-aid where it was like attaching the plaster or the bandage to itself, and like pats it, says, okay, so like we're gonna do something tonight, or you can make it up to me.
Dakota does feel contrite. So he says, yeah, let's do something tonight. Let's do something tonight. He hasn't heard any about the story of the seance yet, so he doesn't know anything about this other plan.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to have that as a conflict that has to be resolved, or do we want to like not like have it be tomorrow night, or what do you think?
Well, I think it was this afternoon, right after school, that we were doing the seance, and so yeah, he can book for the evening.
Okay, cool.
Goes free.
Yeah, and I think it's like, okay, it's a date. We'll go out tonight or whatever it is. Then you hear the bombshell from the back of the class, right? And how does Dakota react to that?
So At first, so Dakota turns beet red because obviously Bay just heard it as well. I think I think it's too overwhelming. The whole class just heard it, and Bay heard it, and he's just going to bury his head in his arms and go down onto his desk and hide under his hair.
Okay, that works.
So when Ryan tries to give him a high five, he just like looks up and refuses.
Cool. So I think that is a good time to take a break. I've got 7 minutes past. Do we say quarter past? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
Where do you think this would happen, Evan? That I would manage to like meet up with you in school? Is there another class or?
Maybe in the locker room before gym class. That seems like kind of our speed so far.
Okay. Yeah, and I do have a string on you. I think I like, oh man, I think I like look across at you, and this is I guess we're both maybe in towels, like we of course, because of course we have to be.
Yes.
And I like, Evan, we're doing a thing this afternoon over at Julia's place in the woods. Bring Zoe. Look, I know there's been a lot of fucked up shit between us, and I still don't really like you, but Zoe's not going to talk to me, and I want her to be there.
So I think you don't have to actually try very hard. Evan just says, okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I spent the string, so to clarify, so you do get an XP.
Okay. Yay. Thank you, Stephen.
Because I have all the strings.
So do we? I mean, not that it makes a huge amount of difference, but I think we mean Megan, right? Because Megan is tutoring Evan.
And is it Megan tutoring Evan?
Yeah, and Zoe is who Jack was talking to at the party, right?
Okay.
But
okay. Never mind. Right, it is Megan. My mistake.
That's okay. It all works out the same because it's like Megan.
Yes, it's the same dynamic.
Right? Yeah,
it's the same DMZ separating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what is this like? What?
Actually, I wanna ask at this point, because I also close my eyes and say, like, did you and Julia actually?
Fuck.
I blush and I just kind of go, and oh man, I kind of like, I don't know what there is there, but I think you should stay away from her. I don't think you're good for her or anyone. And I think I am shutting you down. If that's okay.
Totally.
I mean, I knew that or anyone was coming, but still. So yeah, roll with cold.
Yeah, my best stat, which I seem to use all the time. There's a 5.
That's sweet XP. Um,
I mean, is Bria gonna push up with just some wolf like pushing around her thing?
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think
Sorry.
first, Evan says, man, you have totally the wrong idea about how that went down. You should talk to your friend Julia about who started that.
So yeah, I think this display of power does not impress Bria at all.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I think.
Got any more room for conditions?
I
mean, there's always more room.
There's
for
always room for
conditions.
conditions, but I think I'm going to do something slightly different. The locker behind you opens. It just like springs open, right? And you can kind of hear this growling coming from inside it. And it like, if you, I don't know, what are you doing when you kind of hear that, Jack?
Okay, so this is me. I think I go very like rigid, almost wolf-like, and we get the sense of me like, I guess, sort of sniffing the air, and I mean, I feel like I'm almost like, when this happens, I feel like it's almost tapping into like my wolf side, and I feel like I'm staring into the abyss now.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, let's have the abyss look back first.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll turn and look. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, and there's and this is just like this chasm in front of you that has this almost like black hole level of gravity, and it's like pulling the beast inside you kind of towards it, like step by step. And yeah, I think you like get a sense that like if you let it take you, like you'll never get out.
Well, I mean, what better time to stare into the abyss?
Absolutely. It started staring first, right?
Yeah. That's an 8.
Okay. So yeah, I think yes, we should have had you name exactly what you're looking for first, but we can do that now.
I think I was just to clarify, like trying to figure out what this was. Like,
yeah. So this is like a confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. I just thought to remind myself.
I mean, more so than the black.
More so than it's already, right? So this is like just some primeval power that you've never quite felt this raw before in the world. But it's like it feels so familiar. Like this is the town. This is like whatever gives this town its power. And it, you know, if it finds someone useful, it just grabs them and chews them up and spits them out again. And you know, I think, you know, maybe if you have to reach out to touch the locker door to stop yourself from being pulled into it, you do, and like you just close it, like in some kind of panicked scrabble, and like all of that feeling goes away.
I think it's like a full on, like I slam it closed, like with more strength than I mean, and it's like I leave a dent in the locker. from where I like slammed it closed.
And what is does that answer your question in a kind of confusing and alarming way?
Yeah,
Okay,
that
cool.
does.
Evan, what are you doing while this is taking place?
think
Running or
No,
just
I think
standing there?
after Jack slams that locker closed, if Evan catches his eye, Evan gives Jack like the slightest little shit-eaten grin on the side of his face, like he's saying like, yeah, shit's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, and Jack gives you a look because like I can't like maul you yet because I still need you, but like that's moved to my to-do list.
Is that something Jack says, or is that just
no, that's
understood?
just in my head. In my head.
Okay. Cool. Anything
I
else
just
you
like
want
the idea. I just like the idea that like as we're having this whole thing, like just some random person wanders up to the locker and is like, "Oh man, somebody broke my locker." just just a little background detail.
Don't open that locker.
Oh yeah. Whose locker is this, by the way?
God, is it just Ryan's? Is it just to continue wrapping him back into the story in the
Yeah.
background?
Okay. He's got a new, ever so important note in his
Okay.
section now. Okay, so so I think, can we take it as read that Zoe and Megan will go to the seance tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine with that. I wanted to have the scene where I could give Evan some XP.
Yeah. And you got some for yourself as a surprise bonus. Do they both know that the other is going to be there?
I think that is exactly the reason I did not mention to Evan that Zoe is going to be there.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
Look, Jack is just doing his best as a teen that does not understand other teens.
Yeah. Or a teen, as we like to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I do think basically Alice was his source of actually understanding how people his age work.
Yeah. So yeah, let's cut to after dusk, up in the woods. Julie, do you wanna paint a picture? Like, what do people see when they arrive? What's the kind of feel of this place?
All right, so not everybody knows where this cave is, and so there's, I think maybe Dakota knows and Jack knows, but I don't think anyone else knows, and so there has to be some kind of traipsing around of people, and I think that maybe what I do is I send out a signal that people can follow. I send out a signal, and the signal sounds like Alice's voice.
Oh my god.
And Alice is calling, the sound of Alice is calling people to the cave.
Shit.
And so I don't exactly know what everyone is experiencing as they try to find their way to the cave, but as noted in the chat, it's creepy. And yes, Alice is whispering, come find me. And she's saying people's names. Evan, Jack, Dakota. It's me, Alice. I'm waiting for you in the cave. Follow the sound of my voice. I can't wait to see you.
And after last time, everyone except for Evan had such a pleasant experience bumping into Alice in a different kind of woods, but no less creepy, you would seem. Okay. So yeah, Evan, you're with Megan, right? Like, and she has no connection with the supernatural. She was at the party the other night, maybe, but wasn't seeing any of this wacky stuff. So it's like, what the fuck is that?
Evan says, "That's the shittiest bat signal ever."
Is this someone's idea of a sick joke?
I think so.
Wow. You have weird friends.
Well, I have weird acquaintances.
And I guess on the other side of the woods, you know, I'm not sure you have quite the same reaction from Zoe. I mean, she's too cool, I think. Plus, you know, she seems a little bit more clued in that, you know, weird stuff happens in this town, so nothing is surprising. Who knew this cave was even up here? I mean, is this really where Julia lives? I always thought that she said lives in the woods, and it was like she had a house which was in the woods, but like she lives in a cave. That's so awesome.
I mean, I think she lives in caves. I think this is just like one of them.
Okay, I guess the other one has the running water, and this one has the, I don't know, strangeness.
I'm wondering if I don't know if Jack and I might be going together since we both know where it is, or whether we're separate and what happens when we hear the voices.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Dakota, has you're meeting up with Bay later, right? So he's definitely not tagging along.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Assuming he shows up to the date. But yes, that's later.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you
What do
want
you
to go,
think?
like, which I don't think Jack would have a reason not to go with you, Dakota.
Mhm.
Like, I think Megan will also be there as like the awkward third wheel, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering. So when Dakota hears Alice's voice calling out, and he knows it has to be Julia, but he's feeling creeped out just by it because he's flashing back to the party and the Fey Woods, and he looks immediately at Jack to see how Jack is responding. Jack, are you okay with this?
I think Jack doesn't really say anything, but like slips his hand into yours and like is like gripping your hand super tightly. Like it probably is hurting your hand a little bit.
Julia shouldn't have done this. Just remember, Jack, whatever we saw in the woods the other night, that wasn't Alice. That wasn't Alice. I'm absolutely fucking sure that wasn't Alice.
I like give a nod and well, I almost give a nod and I'm like, I'm not so sure it wasn't Dakota. What if it was?
She would have never said that to you. I heard what I was there. I heard what that thing said. She did not blame you, Jack. She loved you. And Dakota puts his arm around Jack, his good arm, not the one that's bandaged, and and squeezes him around the shoulder. I knew her as good as well as anybody did. She didn't blame you. And hell, you avenged her death. So you acted like a brother when it was dangerous for you to act that way. You got nothing to be ashamed of.
I guess I I take like a deep breath and give a nod and say thanks for being here, Dakota.
Sure thing. Now let's go find out what this crazy Julia is up to. This is going to be an interesting evening. You coming, Megan?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess everyone reaches Julia's cave. What's the ritual or the space at least set up like?
Well, the cave is deceiving. There's just a small entrance. It's hard to find. And once you get inside, it's way bigger than you thought it would be. It's a little bit of a TARDIS. And so there's inside the cave, there's benches all around. There's a nice fire in the middle. And there's windows, which is really confusing because it's a cave in the earth, and so the windows seem to have a view of trees, but it's a little confusing. So people are a little disoriented about this cave. And Julia welcomes everyone and says, I wanted to, in the face of that fake memorial and everything that's happened, I wanted to create a place for those of us who knew and loved Alice to share our grief together, and also to speak with Alice together, to bring Alice here to speak with us.
And Julia, you've kind of felt her presence beforehand, but now is when Bria thinks is the most inappropriate time for her to give you a word of encouragement. And her voice is just kind of inside you, like something just buried that you just couldn't cough up. Oh, Julia, I feel like you've set the stage so beautifully, and that fake shrine earlier was just so tacky. I want some real magic. Let's bring Alice back. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, so wow, huh? Yeah, I really want to shove Bria's voice out. I really am just like feeling like, get the fuck out of here. Who the hell are you? Get the fuck out of here. You don't own me, and you have no right to be here. But also, I'm wondering if this is an opportunity to actually hex Bria, with the, making Bria tell the truth, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she is in your ritual space, right? So that's gives you a certain power over her. Yeah, so I think that seems dramatically suitable.
Yeah, so maybe this is actually like a truth and reconciliation situation here. We're gonna in this seance, we're gonna invoke Alice, but we're also gonna invoke Bria, and we're gonna learn something about what actually happened.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, what are other people? I mean, obviously this is going on inside in Julia's head, unless she's kind of sharing her plan with people right now. But what are other people's reaction to this space and kind of the thing that's planned tonight? Let's start with Dakota.
So Dakota's never been here before. He knows where he knew where it was, but I don't think he's ever been here before. And so he's kind of intrigued, or more than a little intrigued. And he's poking around and snooping a little bit around the cave to see what's going on as people are arriving and milling about. And I don't know. I want to say, but this is something that Max would have to agree to, would be that on one of there's like a little table or something somewhere, and he sees the page from his journal that that Julia ripped out at some point. That he comes across that.
What does it say?
I think you said that the page was something about, I can't remember. I think you said something about my relationship with Alice, but I also remember that you knew some kind of secret about Dakota that he didn't want revealed. And I'm wondering if it's from this page on the journal. And maybe it has something to do with Alice. That maybe he knew Alice was a werewolf, and maybe he had encouraged Alice to explore her werewolf nature because he was titillated by it, and that's what the journal says. And now he feels guilty about that because he felt like that may have contributed to Alice's death. Yeah, so seeing this page from the journal is going to awaken that guilt in him, and also, what the fuck is this page doing in Julia's cave? And why the fuck does she have it? And then he turns towards Julia, and is Julia speaking in tongues to Hex Bria?
I think probably.
Yeah, I mean, when it happens, I think it has to be because you don't have a sympathetic token for her. But yeah,
maybe that's not happening yet.
Yeah, if that's happening yet. Do you have like instructions to the others in terms of getting involved in the ritual? What do you think, Julia?
Yeah, I think that let's gather around and let's take hands.
Yeah, what's I think what's Jack's reaction when like the 6 of you like are bidden to join hands around this circle?
I mean, I'll reach out my hands and take either side of me. Who's on either side of me, by the way?
I'm definitely on one side of you.
Oh, you know what? I've probably forced Evan to take the other side alongside me if it's possible, because I want to make certain that he doesn't insert himself between Megan and Zoe.
Yeah, and I think to make this extra uncomfortable, Megan and Zoe have been like looking at each other since they arrived, and now they have to hold hands in this magic ritual, and it's
Jack's plan all along.
And yeah, it's like they're not broken up that long, and obviously Zoe still has feelings for Megan, so it's like even though she is seeing someone else, so it's awkward, let's say. All the letters capital, not just the A. And how about Evan?
Yeah. So I mean, as far as where he is in the circle,
or like what your reaction to all this is.
I think that he's like, kind of blown away by the interior of the cave and the magic that Julia has created here, or the thing that she's created with her magic, and he starts pondering these woods being lost to Maria, if she and her Fae clan end up taking over all of the woods. That's what's going through his mind at the moment.
So yeah, Bria is like, I guess you like get a sense normally when she's in your head, right? She's kind of relaxed. And like sometimes she leans forward, to kind of make a point at you. But now it's like she's almost like putting her hand on your shoulder and like pushing you aside, right? Because she's interested in this kind of shit.
Yeah.
What do you think, Hallwell? Like, are we really going to speak to Alice? Like they said, it's big. Life and death. Who knew?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking to me all the time. You're dead.
Oh, sure, but I'm special.
How are you special?
Come on, Hallwell. I'm not going to give up my secrets on the first date.
Fine. Enjoy the show.
Okay. So, how does this go, Julia? How does this ritual enact itself?
Well, I just want to say that some things might happen that feel scary. And if anyone doesn't want to be here, you should leave now. So anybody want to leave? Door is open.
The cave doesn't have a door. Everyone kind of, or at least Zoe looks over and kind of whispers to Megan, the cave doesn't have a door.
All right, well, this is my trigger warning. My content warning. All right. So I'm just trying to decide what's the best order of operations here. We have, I want to invoke Alice, and I want to invoke Bria and hex her. And so I feel like that's the first scary thing that's going to happen.
Wait, what? is what Bria says inside Evan's head.
I'm saying this inside myself right now.
Right. Okay.
But I'm about to speak in tongues, and so like I know that's going to freak people out, right? So I think I want to actually bring in Alice first, in the hopes that Alice's presence will comfort people. So let's take hands and remember and feel our collective love for Alice.
So, I think although it's not a hex, let's just roll this like it was a hex, at least in the same mechanical way. Let's roll.
Oh, the invoking of Alice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you like trying to, or at least are you trying to like speak with Alice's voice, or trying to actually bring her kind of ghostly form inside the circle?
I want to bring her ghostly form inside the circle.
Okay.
So it's not through me.
Okay. So I imagine for this kind of thing, you might have some bits, some mementos of Alice's, like as focuses to kind of summon her. What yeah, what do you think one or two of those might be, Julia?
I have some jewelry of Alice's. I have a necklace that she used to wear and a ring that I don't think anyone else misses or knew about, but I have them. And so I'm holding them. And maybe there's an altar next to the fire and I place them there. As we all remember our love for Alice. And I start saying Alice's name. Alice, we love you. Alice, we love you. Come be with us. This circle is for you. We want to see you. We want to share this space with you. We invoke you.
Okay, so let's see a roll plus dark on that.
So +2.
Your dark is +1.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we have a 5.
Okay.
Your decision to be like, I want to be actually cold last session, it's just coming back in to bite you in spades this time.
I see that.
I'm not sure any stat would have helped you to jump up to a 7, you know. Okay. Yeah. So I think so I think both Jack and Julia, you get like this sudden ache in your stomach and you throw up, and there's like this visceral bile mix, kind of like the blood that came out of Alice's ghostly body last time, and it just like pools out of you and into the center, and then just starts to form a figure of Alice that is identical to what you saw in the woods on Friday night. And she kind of, tidies her hair in a very Alice-like move and turns like 360 degrees inside the circle, looking at each and every one of you. Oh, back for seconds. Killing me twice wasn't enough, was it?
Ouch.
Oh man, are we gonna have to both keep our cool?
Well,
All of us have to keep our cool.
I mean, sure. If you think you love Alice or loved Alice, I think this is the time to keep your cool. Yeah, and Evan, inside your head, I guess Bria is like cackling and like clapping like a little girl. Oh man, sweet.
I think Evan says like out loud, but he's addressing Bria. This isn't Alice, is it?
And yeah, she gives this smirky snort, which means, of course it is. So, Evan, are you if you think Evan loved Alice, make your keep your cool roll and tell us what you're afraid of. But if you're cool, then you don't need to. Oh, you're muted, Mark.
Yeah. The most commonly spoken words on Gauntlet. So he loved he loved Alice. I think that his fear is that Alice has become twisted in some way and is more like Bria than Alice. More like Bria in the sense of like some kind of evil supernatural entity. And so keep your cool is
Plus cold.
Cold. Okay, might as well again. Well,
Bam. And yeah, when you on a 10+, when you keep your cool, you gain insight. Ask the MC a question about the situation and take +1 forward, acting on that information.
so before I ask the question, is there like no doubt in Evan's mind that, and maybe you can't answer this, that this is in fact Alice? This is Alice's ghost?
This is Alice's ghost, yeah. Because,
okay.
I mean, this is like what you were trying to disprove was the fact with the ritual. So, yeah, that's the harsh truth. But I mean, if that's your kind of question, I can expand on that, or do you want to ask lead in a different way?
No, yeah, let's go ahead and follow through with that. So let's expand on that. I'm curious.
So yeah, I think like the circumstances of her death have made her this, right?
Yeah.
And the kind of atmosphere that was around. So it's not like a murderous ghost can't be turned into a peaceful ghost.
You're saying it's not like a murderous
ghost? So it's possible to like turn a murderous ghost into a peaceful ghost.
Got it. Okay. Excellent. Was
that
yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay. And you got a +1 acting on that. Dakota, let's hit you next. Presumably Alice's best friend is going to need to keep his cool.
Okay. All right, and I'm rolling with -1, I believe. Ooh. Hi, mark experience.
Mark experience. What specifically, I should have asked beforehand, but what were you afraid of?
Oh, what was I scared of?
Yeah.
Actually, what Evan was saying was actually resonating with me for Dakota too, which was that Alice has turned into something evil. But let me see if there's something else. Let me see. That Alice will blame that it's his fault that she's turned into something evil. That somehow by encouraging her to explore her wolf nature, that somehow he's to blame in some way for her transformation into evil, or her dark transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think like when she turns on Dakota,
always everyone wants to turn on Dakota at some point.
Yeah, and it's like she just sees the way you're holding Jack's hand, right? And I think in that kind of strange editing cut way, like she's right in your face before you can blink. Yeah. Well, Dakota, the live wolf will do, I suppose.
Dakota cringes.
Oh yeah, definitely blaming you, right?
Definitely blaming me. Definitely blaming me, and not just blaming me for that.
Yeah. There's plenty of blame to go around, I think. Okay. Jack, what do you think?
I mean, I guess I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to like kill her for a second time after she died, I guess is Jack's main fear here at this point, given everything that's happened in the last couple rolls.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
all his other fears are basically true at this point.
Yep. Okay.
And it's a 9.
Nice. Okay. So how do you keep your cool, and how would your I guess do you want to how your actions would leave you vulnerable? Yeah, I mean, do you think that Jack would be afraid that if he has to do what he did on Friday night again, he would completely lose himself to the wolf? Like that.
Yeah,
That kind of.
maybe that's it. I think my hands tighten around Evan and Dakota. And like I am just barely on that cusp that I feel like if there's anything more happening, I might be just lose myself to it.
Okay, and finally, Julia, what are you afraid of now that you've summoned Alice's ghost?
I'm afraid that I like I feel all the heightened feelings of everybody, and I am afraid that people are going to kind of get in a bloodbath with Alice. And what I really want is for the chance for Bria to actually show herself and be forced to tell the truth about what she did, about why she did it to Alice, about why Alice has become evil. Like Bria seems to be a key to knowing the truth. And what I really am hoping is that if there's a bloodbath, it's on Bria. So I want to wait for Jack to turn until Bria shows up.
Okay, cool. So let's get a cool roll from you.
Okay.
The only cool person in the group.
Right.
Cold, I mean, again.
9.
Okay. So.
I think it should be a 10 because don't you have +2 cold?
Oh.
Yeah, you do. It's a 10. So it's
Sorry,
+2 in cold.
confused.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, I rolled again, but yeah, so it should have been a 10.
Cool. Thanks, Jose. Yeah, so you keep your cool and you gain insight, same as we did for Evan. So you ask me a question about the situation and take +1 forward, acting on that.
Okay, so my question is, is Bria the reason that Alice has turned evil?
So let's how best to answer that question. So I think the best way to answer that question is to say Bria is fucked up and evil for pretty much exactly the same reason Alice's ghost is. They're both kind of corrupted or twisted by this town, by that abyss that Jack saw in the locker room. Now, I guess Bria might have had more to do with it initially, like might have had more of a free hand in her fate, but essentially they're victims. Yeah, bigger head start. They're both victims of the same kind of the same dynamic in town.
Okay. So yeah, as I wrote in the chat, now I actually want to perform an exorcism. Not sure I have that spell casting ability. But yeah, can we bring Bria in now? Can I go into tongues and hex Bria?
Yeah, for
Get her
sure.
to tell the truth.
Do we want to take a break? I'm just looking at time. We're about the same time we took a break last time, so we'll save this next magic for post break. So we say back at 15:15.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Cool. So, Julia, time for that ritual. Do you think there's anything different? I know we've seen this ritual kind of done before, at least kind of referred to before. What does this look like?
Well, I think that I need to address Bria because I know that she's here, and then I start talking in tongues.
So are you like looking inside yourself or looking straight at Evan, or how are you kind of regarding Bria in this?
I think first I'm looking at Alice, and I'm trying to stay grounded in my connection to Alice as a source for my magic, because I don't want to get sucked into Bria while also invoking her. So I say to Alice, Alice, we know that Bria killed you. We know, and we want to know more about what happened. So then I turn to Evan. Bria, I know that you're here and that you've been here all along. And here's what I have to say to you. There's my tongue. Bria, I want you to tell us the truth. Who are you? What have you done to Alice? And what do you want?
So how does Evan react to this kind of directed interrogation, besides the obvious gulp at the very start?
Yeah, I think that's just it. He's like, you don't have to look at me. I mean, Bria's in you.
Oh man, you know how I said there was something that was gonna set me off? I think I let go of Dakota's hand and I just slam my hand around your neck, Evan, and like throw you to the ground. Then I know there's some way to take someone to take my anger out on. I'm just slamming you to the ground. I'm lashing out with violence, if that's okay.
Okay, so I guess the ritual hasn't started, or it has kind of started, right? It's just about to, when this violence overtakes it. I guess is Dakota like just gobsmacked at this, or standing back, or trying to stop Jack, or what's Dakota's approach?
So, so what's happened right now, what Dakota's seeing, I just want to be clear, is Jack dropped his hand and he's lunging towards Evan. Julia hasn't begun the hex yet, right?
Or she's just like started. I
Speaking
don't
her
know.
tongues.
Yeah.
um, uh, um, I think Dakota is going to try to hold Jack back. So grab Jack's shoulders to try to hold him back, because he has a feeling like this is going to turn into a bloodbath with all the evil in the air. And if it were just him being the bloodbath, that would be fine. But he doesn't want the focus to be on somebody else. So he's going to try to hold Jack back.
So
He grabs Jack's shoulders and says, "No, Jack, don't."
so do we think this is going to stop Jack, or is this a shutdown? What do you think?
So shutdown is usually when you want to. What's the intention behind shutdown?
I mean, it can be when you want to like stop someone like in their tracks or stop them from doing a thing.
From doing something. So it's not just, I'm not trying to harm you necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hold you back.
It's just that like the only way you can do it is by harming me or shut me down.
Okay.
Or like possibly with lash out with violence yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you can try to like to disarm them socially, like by undercutting their power, or you can like hit them. Those are your two weapons.
You could also spend a string if you have one.
Oh, I could. I have a string, so I can spend that. So I can try to pull a string instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, and now I see Dakota not grabbing his shoulders, but grabbing him around the waist. Better. This is better. And saying, "Please, Jack, don't." And so I will tempt Jack to not attack Evan, and spend a string to do so.
Oh,
so what about that is tempting or persuasive?
I have to answer that.
No, sorry, for Jack.
Oh,
I mean, Dakota's wrapping his arms around my waist, of course. I mean, I think I'll accept that, and I think I instead turn to Julia and say, "You knew about this the entire time, and you didn't tell me. Tell me the truth, Julia." And I'm spending one of my strings on you to like tell me the truth. Did you specifically keep this from me, Julia?
Jack, I just found out. I just found out last night, or the night of the party.
I look angrily at you, and
that was
I just
3 days ago.
Yeah, I thought we were friends, Julia. And you just have been lying to me for the past 3 days.
I didn't think I was lying to you, Jack. I think I'm trying to protect you.
I'm not happy with this, but I quiet.
Dakota doesn't let him go and just keeps burying his head into his shoulder and with his arms around his waist.
Evan, what's your reaction to coming this close to an ass whooping again?
I think that he's just been watching Julia and Jack kind of talk back and forth all the time, thinking, Bria's got an inroads into Julia's head as well, and wondering if that is going to make an ugly appearance that Jack will notice.
Well, I think Bria is suggesting to Evan that you really don't want to be here for this, do you? You should just bust these guys' heads and get out of here. Break the circle. They don't have any power over you.
I think that Jack knows that Julia seems to have some ability to have some kind of has an ability to have some kind of effect on Alice or Alice's ghost. So I think that he doesn't want to leave for that. So if he's going to have to like countermand the order, then I guess he will try to do that so that he can stay.
Yeah. So like trying to like having this power kind of on the platter in front of you to kind of get out of this uncomfortable situation seems like tempting, right? And you're like I guess like the junkie kind of refusing to take a hit. So yeah, do you think that warrants a keeping cool, or do you think you can kind of get through it?
It's going to need something. I wonder if that doesn't really make sense.
I mean, Julia has a string on Evan. I mean, a sympathetic token. So she might be willing to spend that to keep Evan there.
Okay, so here's what happens. Evan says, Julia, can you do something to help Alice?
I think I can. I want to try.
Okay, so Jack says out loud, Jack, sorry, I apologize, Jack. So Evan says out loud, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to try to keep my cool. If that seems appropriate, Donna.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I roll that one a lot.
You do. I guess what you're afraid that you won't be able to kind of stay true to this kind of purpose to save Alice, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so so we got a 7 to 9, and I think if you stay, Bria will be annoyed with you, and so far she's been kind of laissez-faire with you. So if you stay, I'm going to give her a string on you.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, actually. Let's do that.
What does irked or pissed off with you kind of sound like or look like for Bria?
Man, that's a really good question. Which is what I say when I'm trying to buy time. I think that I mean, it feels like Bria would if she's really pissed, she would just try to drive the car, and Evan would just be along for the ride. So she would be driving Evan's actions explicitly rather than just convincing him. I don't know, maybe that's a little too much power. Yeah,
I mean, she can't really do that until you get to 5 strings, but but maybe it's just like the kind of Like, does she take a different tone with you, or does she like go a little bit quiet? And that kind of worries Evan. I don't know.
I mean, mechanically, she's forced to do that when you get to 5 strings, but like, isn't turning to your darkest self always a risk? Like, it's
Yeah,
always a move
yeah.
that you can pull.
Yeah, it's
If Evan is like bringing it up as the risk here.
yeah, that's true.
So I think the original risk that I was looking at was that Evan was not going to be able to help Alice in any way. I think that darkest self.
Do you think like she's like would threaten to like scupper or sabotage those plans just out of spite?
Totally, that makes sense. That's a great idea. Yeah, she's going to try to sabotage whatever Evan, Julia, anyone else tries to do to help put Alice's ghost at peace.
Okay, awesome. So Julia, let's do that hex on Bria then.
Okay, Bria, tell us the truth. What have you done to Alice? What do you want?
So you're gonna need to roll to give that magic some some teeth.
And is
Active
that
teeth
a
again.
+2 roll?
So it's +1, so it's plus dark
Okay.
to Hexer.
Roll hex. 10.
Nice. There you go.
Oh, sorry about my audio. Oh,
It sounds like you were roboting there when you were speaking in tongues, which is like the modern technical speaking in tongues. Okay, yeah. So you like feel that hex take effect and like it wrap its chains around Bria, and yeah. So the wording right on the hex is. Whenever the person attempts to lie, they hear a piercing, ringing noise. Big lies will often make their knees buckle and disorient them. Severe lies can cause harm or even brain damage. So, Julie, what do you think? Is this like explicit lies, or is there room to maneuver on lies of omission? Like how strict or malleable is this?
I think it's strict. I think she needs to tell us the truth or she'll suffer. Yeah,
Okay.
strict.
So is this like the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Give it to us, Bria.
I mean, you gotta ask some questions, right? Oh, so do you think this is like going to be vocalized in the cave? So maybe.
I think Bria is speaking through Evan right now.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Sorry, Evan.
Evan doesn't like that.
You took the string.
So do you want me to just do that, and you can intercede with Evan's own speech and thoughts?
I mean, I think it makes sense because it's, I mean, you being Bria speaking through Evan makes sense, and then Evan maybe will try to interject something if he's.
Yeah, cool. Okay. What do you want to know, Julia? I ain't got all day.
I want to know what you want. What are you doing here?
Me? I want out of this fucking town.
What have you done to Alice?
Alice is dead. She's right there. You can see her.
Yeah, why is she evil?
Because, like, everyone is fucked up in this town. Even Alice fucking Briarwood.
What have you done to her? Why did you
Nothing.
kill
I mean,
her?
I killed
Why did you
her
kill her?
because she took the heart.
What heart?
What heart?
Come on, Bria, give it to us.
I think
Okay.
Evan is like trying to fight through, and he says, I thought you and Alice knew about the heart.
Well, this is Max speaking. I have forgotten about the heart.
We didn't really establish much about the heart.
I
Except
mean, I think Jack knew about the heart. At the very least.
Yeah, so Alice gave Evan the heart to hide.
Oh, right.
And then Evan told Charlie that it was in the lighthouse. And so Charlie, although this is something only... No, I think that Charlie might have shared this, that she was taking the heart.
Yeah, I think you told Jack, which is why I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The heart that would get me out of here, that's what heart.
And so the heart would get Alice out of here also?
I mean, no, she's just dead. Like, she's just a ghost.
Are you not dead?
I mean, I am dead, but I'm also, not dead.
And here I thought I was going to get some help from you telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth. I don't fucking have a PhD in metaphysics.
How can we help Alice?
I don't know. Like, be nicer friends, probably.
How can we get you out of here?
Well, if you get me the heart, you will never hear or see from me again.
And whose heart is that?
Whew, I shouldn't say. You don't want to know.
Yes, I do want to know.
Oh. Okay, but like, it's not my fault. When this shit blows up in your face, I do not want you to blame me for telling you. Okay?
Okay.
So, like, if you were wise, you wouldn't push me. But, if you're going to push me, I'm going to tell you and say, fuck you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Come on, give it to us. Tell us.
Okay.
Tell us everything.
So, Mr. Steiner.
It's Mr. Steiner's heart?
Yeah.
Like from his own chest?
Yeah.
Evan, didn't you meet with Mr. Steiner recently?
he seemed cool. I mean, he was
He had a
fine.
heart?
I don't know. I mean, he was moving and talking. I mean, yeah, maybe he's like maybe he's a puppet. I don't know.
All right, Bria, if we agree to try to find this heart for you, will you leave Evan and I alone? Will you leave all of us alone?
Well, not Evan. He's mine.
I mean, I think Jack gives Julia a look like, do we want Evan?
All right, well, will you leave me alone?
Sure. I never liked you anyway.
Ditto. All right, well, there we have an agreement. So, Alice, what about this heart, Alice? Where did you put this heart and why? We want to help you.
Dakota, can Dakota do something?
Sure. Yeah.
I think as this is all going on, and he saw how it worked with one briarwood, he's wondering whether it's going to work with another briarwood. And he lets go of Jack and just walks up, approaches Alice's ghost, I guess, is what we're dealing with, and attempts to wrap himself around her.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a
So,
move, but that's what he wants to do.
okay. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes back here from your 6- when trying to keep you cool against Alice.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
right. Well, maybe I can't do that then.
Well, you can definitely do that, right?
Do I need another keep my cool?
No. So,
Oh, you know what? You know what I might be able to do to help kind of set up the fiction here a little bit?
sure.
And I kind of like look at you, Dakota, and say, I don't think I can face her on my own, Dakota. Can you come with me? And I'm spending the string on you to have you kind of face down Alice, this ghost of Alice with me to kind of lead into that.
So that would tempt me to go beyond my fear.
Yeah.
I would accept that string. I mean, I would accept that temptation, obviously, since I wanted to do that anyways. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Alice kind of turns towards you, maybe is a less aggressive framing. so yeah, turns on
Everyone
you,
turns
I
on
think
me,
is more
so
accurate.
eventually.
And yeah, I think, she puts her hand on you, and that slick kind of black gunk kind of spreads over her fingers and onto your skin. And now she like grabs you and pulls you close and says, "What is it, Dakota?
Come
Do you
back
think
to us, Alice.
come back to you?"
We want the same Alice we knew and loved. What's happened? Are you in there?
Oh, well, since I've been dead, I've seen what you've been really like,
We're all grieving you, Alice. That's why we're acting bad. Me included.
Oh, it's my fault for dying. That's why you're acting like an asshole. I see. I understand now. Foolish me.
I thought we loved each other, Alice. Even when we fucked up. I know I fucked up. How's it feel for him to be covered in the black goo? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like spreading over you. It's kind of dripping down the inside. Yeah, it's kind of dripping down the inside of your shirt, right? And it feels, icky and cold and dead, right?
Dead. So Dakota's knees are kind of buckling a little bit.
Yeah. So,
Jack, feel free to chime in since I think you're with me.
So, I think she just like shoves you to the ground or like releases you till you fall in your ass, right? And she kind of just whispers over you and out the cave entrance. And I think I am spending the string that I took on you with Alice to hit you with a reaction. And that reaction is to trigger your darkest self.
That's a hard move. Yep. Let me read my darkest self here.
Yeah, read that out for all of us because
Yes,
it's wonderful.
Okay, my darkest self. Nobody understands you. Nobody even tries. You do so much for the people you love, and they walk all over you. Enough is enough. Betray them. Show them what it's like to be uncared for. Reveal their monstrosity and yours. Only seeing the pain that you're causing your lover will let you escape your darkest self. Okay, then. Dakota's in his darkest self.
So
Absorb that.
absorb that for a minute. Back at the interrogation of Bria Brown, Julia or Jack, if you're not too distracted, what else do you want to get out of her?
Oh, I don't know if I was involved in the interrogation. I think that might have been Julia. I think I'm a little bit distracted at this point with the whole ghost thing happening
Sure.
with Dakota.
So Julia then.
I think that at this point, Bria has said that she'll leave me alone, and I don't feel like there's any more information I can get out of her that will help us. And so I am done with her.
Okay. I think if you think of a really obvious answer or a really obvious question that you would have liked to ask in this point in time, you can just retcon it in, right?
Okay.
Okay. Any words from Evan?
Evan's, I think, trying to figure out how he can play the yeah, he doesn't have anything to add here at the moment.
Okay. So back to Jack. I think the ghost kind of leaving over Dakota's shocked body is an opportunity, maybe just before that or before she leaves to do something.
I mean, I think I want to say, because I did get a string on her when I kind of mauled her the last time I saw her because of my move.
Yeah.
I think I shout out like, how can I help you, Alice? I don't want to keep hurting you.
So I think she stops and looks back at you, and like I think usually in these kind of interactions, right, Jack might rely on Alice to know exactly what to do, but I think she doesn't. She's kind of stuck in this mode where she just lashes out and moves on.
Well,
but
I'm
you can-
spinning the string, so I get to know exactly how I can get her to to do this. Like, I guess I'm trying to say, like, how can I get her, help you like move on or like stop.
Yeah, I think
ghosts. Like, I guess what do I have to do to achieve that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not sure she like explicitly knows that, but let's give you an answer. Or will we do something like say that you kind of are working it out by yourself?
Yeah, we
from
could also
everything
say
you know.
that.
Yeah. And then when you have a move to make, it'll be the right move.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does that work?
Okay, sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, she's a lost ghost, and she has no idea how she can be freed from this kind of cycle, this destructive cycle that she's in. But like maybe knowing that is kind of the start of Jack knowing what the answer is.
Yeah. And do you think it's okay if I clear traumatized for now?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, even though it is obviously
I was
like
traumatized before this. This is
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
cathartic to a degree.
Yeah, I think like having made that connection with her and knowing that you're going to be able to help her will
And
allow
I'd
you
say
to clear it.
probably, I mean, I'd say probably Dakota and Julia could both mark XP for this, for helping me through with this. Maybe even Evan.
I mean, yeah, if Dakota helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Dakota ran up and engaged with her.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
go well for Dakota.
It did not go well, but yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense that people helped in one way or the other with this ritual. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, how are Megan? So
They are just like, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, after the first while, it was like, okay, so this is like, yeah, they stayed around for the ghost of Alice appearing. Everything else is just gravy, right? It's just extra, extra. Yeah, so Evan, did you text Charlie, by the way?
Yeah. Yep. So Charlie Charlie has the heart in a box, to our knowledge, or to my knowledge anyway. And so Evan had texted Charlie to bring the box when Charlie comes to town in a couple of days. So I don't know if anybody else had heard from Charlie, because I hadn't. I heard it from the principal. So I'll share that information. Charlie's coming to town and she's bringing the heart, maybe. Does Charlie say she'll bring the heart?
Yeah, I think she'll probably, because, she kept it away from Evan. She took it to keep it away from Evan. So, like, if Evan asks for the heart, she's probably unlikely to bring it. But if anyone else asks her to bring the heart, she probably will.
Okay.
Good.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess some of the others might have known that Charlie was going to be in town for a couple of days for one of the memorial services. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Evan like texts Charlie, he might get like a "fuck you" response from her in a text, right? But someone else will get a "sure, I'll see you at wherever you hang out or used to hang out." Okay, so does anyone want to have anything else done tonight in the cave, or are we happy to wrap that scene?
I mean, I think Jack goes to Dakota. What happens?
I think I just see Dakota wrapped, like curled up in fetal position, covered in black, not covered, but the black goo is all over him. And I think he's crying. And possibly hard to get through to at the
Yeah,
moment.
I think Jack in that case is like trying to rub some of the goo out of your face and is like saying, Dakota, are you, tell me what's wrong. And I think maybe if we want to fade there, unless Dakota has a response, that's probably where we end the scene.
No response from Dakota. Yeah. No intelligible response. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So, do you want to cut? We probably have time to do like a short scene the next day if people want to cut ahead.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see something. What signals to us Dakota's darkest self coming forward?
Yeah, so like in this moment, right, like anyone can be excused for being like, you know, not their best self, but like the next day, right? How is Dakota seen?
So I think, so even in the midst of all sorts of bad shit, Dakota tends to be kind of not happy-go-lucky. No, that's not the right word, but just keeps moving on. But there's almost like a bitterness that's coming off of him right now. It's almost like that black goo um, uh, um, uh, made his heart bitter. So I'm thinking he's just got bitterness and darkness in his eyes, and he's not talking a lot, which is not typical of him, and and yeah, it's like he's turned completely inward and is looking outward, or turned inward and then is looking outward with malice almost at everyone. Maybe not at Jack at the moment, but maybe also at Jack. Uh, there's a sense like, yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to flesh out in action just yet. So I might need some time to kind of like sink into that part.
Sure, I imagine that you stood Bay up, right? Nate, is
Yes,
that nice? Okay.
that would be correct. Yeah, yeah. So that would have been the last thing from Dakota's mind.
I mean, if anyone in the audience thought that Dakota was actually going to manage to make that date.
They're suckers.
Um, yeah, I think I think Bay is not happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and I can imagine Dakota walking into the classroom that morning and Bay confronting him, and Dakota just tell him to fuck off. That's what I imagine.
yeah, yeah. And I think like Bay grabs your forearm where the bandage is and like digs into it with these like devilishly sharp fingers
Ouch.
and just says like fuck you. And like, you know, pushes you back down in your chair even though you're already sitting, like not engaging with him. And it's like, yeah, that smell of salt and cold sea air is like cutting through you. Yeah, Mr. Kelpie is not happy.
Not happy.
Okay, so what do you think the memorial service that's going to be on like after school or at lunchtime or whatever is going to be like? Jack, you're now on that subcommittee, right? So you've had a hand in doing this with Maria and Homer.
Oh man. He says, I feel like Jack really like I feel like after everything that happened, I feel like Jack almost like Jack just kind of feels like this whole committee just has no, I mean, even more so than before. I just feel like he just is kind of like any suggestion he makes is kind of voted down, is kind of put down by Maria, and he just doesn't really fight about it because like what's the fucking point? Like I don't know. So I think it's very much in the Maria vein of things, where it's a lot of like she makes this very long, impassioned eulogy of Alice at the podium, even though she didn't know Alice at all. She talks about her like she knew her forever. The two were best friends. Like I think it really becomes this whole like display to what a good person Maria is.
Awesome. And Julia, how are you kind of engaging with people today, before or during the memorial service?
Well, I feel like I am I'm kind of deep in my feelings, and I'm glad to feel like Bria's out of the way. Sorry, Evan. And I'm, feeling more connected to Jack and Dakota, and like I want to figure out how to help Alice. And so I'm kind of focused on this. I know that Charlie's going to be bringing the box with the heart, and so I'm wanting to connect with Jack and Dakota about like what we can do once we get the heart. And yeah, I feel like there's something next there, but I'm worried about Dakota. It seems so weird right now, like what is going on? And yeah, everyone just seems so out of sorts, and so I'm just feeling bad for everyone and feeling like I want to protect everyone, and yeah.
Okay. And Evan, how about you? How are you engaging in this farcical memorial from your point of view, maybe?
So I think that Evan is watching the slideshow, and he's thinking about Alice. He doesn't think that there's anything that can be done to help her. It's starting to feel hopeless for him. He feels like he tried to help out at the seance, but it didn't work out. And I think he's feeling a little more alone and distant from everyone else, and is thinking maybe he's the only one who can do something to help her, to help Alice.
So like his kind of hopelessness is turning into like, I'm the only one who can really save Alice after all. Okay.
Right.
And
so part of that is, well, if I can get the heart to Bria, then maybe Bria can help me help Alice.
okay, yeah. So I think Charlie has shown up, kind of come straight off the train or whatever to the school, and yeah, I think she is like avoiding, despite his best wishes, avoiding Evan, and yeah, she's carrying like a satchel bag which has a heart-sized box, right, in it. And yeah, let's paint the scene a little on this box, right? Evan, what was this? The actual box? What was it? What was the design of it? What was the kind of look and feel of it on the outside?
I recall that it was basic and crude, not well made. But I think that it would make sense that it had some type of inscribed, roughly inscribed, like magical sigils or something on it. But it looks like somebody in middle school shop class made it and did not do a great job.
Yeah. How much dramatic irony do we want? You know, who amongst you did woodwork or shop in middle school? Julia, do you think that was you, or do you think it was someone else?
I did do middle school shop, and we did make boxes. It's true. Mine, however, was quite ornate, and so I don't think this could be it.
But I think you recognize. So when Charlie hands the box over, we can do that conversation next week, but let's fill in the details about the box first. Like, what's the sigil on this box that you recognize from your kind of mystical research or experience?
Yeah, there's definitely something there. Do you want me to decide?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess describe what its kind of purpose is, or what the power behind it is, or whatever takes your fancy.
I think the sigil is a shovel. There is a shovel on the outside of this box that's just sort of crudely carved, and other people might not even know what it is, but I can tell that it's a shovel. And I think it means that there's something has been buried, and we don't know what that means necessarily. But there is a coven who often uses this sigil, and they bury things in the woods. Perhaps this heart needs to be buried.
Okay. And Dakota, when, I guess we'll assume you get to see this heart, right? You know, like, how does this heart make you feel? Like, how does your life seem somehow crudely connected to this, metaphor, right? There's this dead heart in a box that people care about, but only as a symbol,
Yeah, and there's something about the heart too that is like, it's not dripping blood. It's like I see it as kind of shiny and kind of almost preserved, or porcelain-like almost. So, but it clearly is an actual heart. And Dakota feels like, he feels a nice sense of identification. Like, yeah, they've pulled my heart out and stomped it on the ground, and Alice did that the other night, and so he feels a big gaping sense of a hole in his chest that he doesn't know how to fill.
Okay, awesome. And lastly, Jack, when you kind of laid nostrils on it, whenever you get a smell of this, like, how, I guess you kind of instantly know that it is Mr. Steiner's somehow, but like, what else do you kind of gain an inkling of with regards to Steiner's true nature when you get to see this heart?
I think it doesn't smell like blood. I think it smells like bleach or lye, or like something poisonous.
And that's probably something you've never kind of centered around Mr. Steiner himself, but it's all kind of imbued in this heart.
Sure. Yeah.
And does this kind of stir any memories or any fears within you?
I think it stirs the memories of that last fight and chase from Bria. I think that for some reason, like all of the snow as it like landed in my mouth, it tasted like bitter and toxic, like soap or something like that. Like it just permeated that night.
Okay, awesome. So on that lovely note, I guess we will wrap up. We do stars and wishes unless anyone has anything else to add. No? Okay.